The car is the BuickAvista Concept Coupe. It is built on the new Camaro and Cadillac ATS platform, which means it is rear-wheel drive, but this is a luxury GT. Take a look at the interior, take a look at the beautiful display system, all virtual, digital. Take a look at the beautiful design, the dip in and then the flare out at the rear fenders, and the aggressive rubber that's on this car. Ed, the crowds around this car are saying things like "wooey" and "let's build it." Where did this come from?
It came from the Buick Design Studio at the GM Tech Center in Warren, and it really came from just couple of our designers had some ideas of a special coupe for the Buick brand, and we developed it. It wasn't a big corporate initiative. It's just, I like to have an environment in which people feel free to come forward with their ideas. They came forward with their ideas, they shared it with me, and I really supported them in carrying through with the concept.
Now, last year's sedan concept, there were some definite styling cues from past Buicks. What are, if anything, some past cues on this car?
Well, this car does build on the history of Buick, does it in a very contemporary way. I think the big thing are the flowing lines. Buick is all about flowing lines. It's like an artist's brushstroke going from thick to thin. Even the grille, you can look at early 50s Buick with the badge in the center, and we've brought the color back to the badge, and then the wings that come off of it. And this grille really is the new direction for Buick grills. The lamps are very much the direction of Buick lamps, kind of a check line to them, done with LEDs. And then you have the sophisticated sculpting of the car. It was just a joy to spend time in the design studio with the sculptors and just watch the fine art sculptors developing all of the shapes, all of the forms which make this car.
Now the cool thing is this is on an existing and very good platform, so does that hint at some performance GT coming from Buick at some point?
Number one, it hints at some very smart designers and engineers that took that architecture to build this on, and the possibilities are great. I mean, we talk about the twin turbo 6, and which would be just, I think, the right marriage, the right relationship for this vehicle. But there are other motors that could go in the car as well.
What are your favorite parts of it?
I think the sum of all the parts are my favorite. Just the total integration of shapes. I think my favorite thing would be the proportions and the sculpting, the fine art sculpting the shapes throughout, and how no line really stops or starts. It may fade away or it just may run around.
Welburn likes to point to the fact that the center console goes all the way through and that the rear seats have room.
This interior and the way all the lines, the console, how it flows through, and a lot of it was inspired by the first Riviera. How the console, at the time, that was radical thinking, to have a console the shape like that in the Riviera.
And nobody does that except in show cars these days.
Yeah, so we really, this console was inspired by the original Riviera. Just the way the center area slants and then it flows all the way to the rear of the car. It's really a four-place vehicle with great interior space for four, great materials and finishes throughout, a very creative instrument panel.
Smoked glass roof, and then it comes down to a subtle spoiler. The taillights, stunning and European in their definition. The crowds looking at this car all seem to say the same thing. Please build it. So we asked that question of Welburn.
It's strictly a concept. We've certainly done our homework on this, and the only thing that would stop it is the fact we've got some other interesting cars in the Buick studio that we're working on.
With VP of Design Ed Welburn and the beautiful new BuickAvista Concept Coupe, I'm Dan Scanlon for Jacksonville.com.